Oh, yeah. I suppose we better start this then. Sunday shop, do 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 do. Sunday shop, do 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 do. Sunday shop, do 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 do. Hello, and welcome. Pam, how are you, my lovely? Long time no see. Big hugs. And Tommy, Spexy Beast, you. Yes, second place is indeed the first place loser. That's how I'm up anyway. If you finish second, that means you didn't lose too badly. You're less of a loser than the rest. And Sammy, how you doing, Mr. Yeller? Hopefully Tinterwebs are playing a bit nicer this week than they were last week. Naughty interwebs. So whether that was actually internet or whether that was YouTube doing some maintenance on the back end, woof, we don't know. Oh, and now we get all the notifications come through. You see, I thought I'll start the pooter up early this week because then all the notifications will come through. I can get rid of them. Better already. Did my squats this morning, missed last week because of my face. Oh dear, what you done to your face? Is it? You didn't happen to look in a mirror, did you? Sorry, couldn't resist. Can't be any worse than George Farmer's face in that thumbnail. Ye gods. And you know, I know my thumbnails aren't great, but we had dental surgery. You have dentals? These bloody notifications are still coming through. Howdy, Andrew. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's hopefully Tinternet is playing. Judging by the amount of notifications that are flooding through. Oh, Rico's got snow. Face in training, yes. Resting axe murderer face, that's what I call mine. It's, someday he'll be punchy. Yeah, he's got to get a lot older for that though, Pam. Sorry. Not sorry. You knew that joke was coming. Going back to the dentist is a place where they clean and fix your teeth. I'm not sure if a person from Britain knows that or not. Oh, I know what they do. I know what they do. What they are is they're professional sadists. Oh, Blue Eye's doing okay. Oh, sorry about that. We lost one of the long fins, but I say it's still young, so that's why I gave you more than one. But yeah. Last time I went to the dentist was years ago. Because I hadn't been for a year, they took me off of their books, which meant I would have to pay private healthcare fees. And no other dentists in Attleborough have space for NHS patients because they're building more and more houses. The town is getting bigger and bigger, but they're not bringing in more dentist surgeries. We don't know much. We don't have to worry about healthcare costs normally because, you know, free. And once you pass a certain age, retirement age, what was it, 60? I think it's once you pass 60, you even get all your prescriptions for free as well. You just sent some photos that Donna asked me to send. As long as they're decent. Yeah, I have had ladies send me unsolicited pictures before. Normally I don't complain, because normally they're quite attractive, but in some cases, when you think they're wearing a pair of panties but they're actually nude, and you're thinking, ye gods, I've got less body hair than that. And I can't even remember what her name was, but suffice to say, that relationship didn't even start. Oh dear. Yeah, it's not just ladies that get sent the unsolicited pics. Sometimes the men do as well. But I'm assuming in Andrew's case they're probably pictures of fish, which is all good. Tried to send me some post office label it as a biohazard. Is it? I would have accepted those, Pam. You know that. I would have added them quite happily to the laminated photo book. The wipe clean laminated photo book, or as it's sometimes called, the wank bank. And I say that just as Debs turns up. Hello, Debs. How are you, my dear? So as we've already hit the bottom of the barrel in the my speech patterns, what's been going on this week? I didn't do a video because I've kind of been feeling a bit meh all week and just didn't get around to it. Basically, forgot. By the time I remembered, I couldn't be bothered. But we do have some new fishies in quarantine. Yes, I know they're not in quarantine alone. There are other fish in there, but needs must. So there might be some clicky sounds if they're happy. I've got a couple of yo-yo loaches because, well, clown loaches are bloody expensive, and I want to get rid of some snails, and I've had enough of manual removal. Thank you very much. So, yeah, a couple of loaches seemed the best option because then I can just move them around to whichever tank I want to get the snails out of. They'll grow fat and happy, and then I'll sell them for more than I paid for them, and maybe buy another couple of small ones if I need to. Yeah, as the title said, it's been another very wet week here in the east of England, so more flooding all over the place, mostly Suffolk this time, thankfully, I say. I'd rather nowhere flooded, but the worst of it missed here. We went to the Taverham Garden and Aquatic Centre today, obviously to get the fish, and the road to it runs past the River Wensum, and at normal levels the Wensum is maybe a foot below the road surface. Yeah, rain is still running off of the hills. When we went up there was maybe an inch of water on the road at one point. When we came back, it was 3 or 4 inches of water and getting worse. So, yeah, all the meadows up there are flooded out. Parts of Attleborough are still flooded out under large amounts of water. The Decoy Common, I think I uploaded that video. Yeah, that's all underwater at the moment. Mr. Moist Hose, how you doing out? and hope your socks are not too wet at the moment. Yeah, but it's been one of them wet and windy weeks. Got soaked most days coming home from work or going to work, which is always fun. You get to work and you're dripping already. Saves on showers though. And given the way the drains have been around here because of the sheer level of the water table, yeah, it's that bad. The drains are still all full of rainwater, and fleshy flashes and stuff ain't going away properly. So, yeah, well, they're just taking a long while to drain. So, going to be fun doing water changes tomorrow. Yeah, other than that, I've had a fairly quiet week. And when not at work, I've mostly been watching European Le Mans Series races. Certainly a few flooded fields. Yeah, it's not got any better, Andrew. If anything, it's got worse. Yeah, so I've watched some ELMS races. Been playing about with some AI art generatory thingy. One of those ones that you just type in a few words and then it generates a picture about what you've typed. Annoyingly, it does have an NSFW filter on it. But there are ways around that. There are ways of wording things. But yeah, so I did a few pictures of fishies and then went to generating pictures of ghosts and demons and nightmare fuel, which is just me, really. Nah, it won't let me do pictures for the bedroom wall. Well, not unless I get really creative. And the tablet's not waterproof either. Yeah, so I've done a few pictures of fish. Although I get the distinct feeling that what it's doing is doing a very quick Google search for that species of fish, and then maybe changing a bit of the background in the tank or the background of the picture from the picture on the interwebs. Going, here you go. We changed the plant so we don't get copyrighted. And if you put in actual people's names, it tends to distort the face slightly, so they kind of look like that person, but not really. Yeah, it's something that's a bit of fun to play around with when you're 5 or 10 minutes. I can see it might have a use. And just one of those things where I'm assuming the more people use it, the more accurate and better it will get at giving you what you asked for. But yes, lots of things like hellhounds and skeletons, spider demons, and all that kind of stuff. Hello, Paddy. Everybody, Paddy's here. Yay! I miss the dancing purple monster. And that's not a euphemism. I also miss Shanna. But there we go. What else has been up to? Really it. It's been fairly dead at work as well, apart from yesterday where it went mental. But then I guess it's that time of year where people are starting to put money aside or buying stuff for that thing that happens near the end of December, which we won't mention yet. or repairing and replacing flings. Pardon me. Put the teeth in things that are flood damaged, or we've sold a lot of dirty water pumps and hoses and waterproofs and sandbags and Wellington boots or gum boots. Yeah. I reckon probably be January or February before all the real repairs start being done on the houses that got flooded out the other week. So they've got to dry out before you can start repairing anything. Yeah, we sold a lot of dehumidifiers as well. It's not normal for this part of the country to get that much rain. We're not used to it. Believe it or not, as I said in the video, this is the dry part of the country. Oh, thank you very much, Andrew. Gifting 5 memberships. Let's see who gets them. Let's see who becomes a complete member. Yay! Tommy and Al and Scotty Aquati and Dee Dee and Marriott. Yay! Always good to see that Marriott gets a membership every so often. I'm not going to make a joke about giving. No, we're not going to go there. Not without her being here anyway. Yes, thank you very much. Appreciated as always, never expected. So let's be honest. Even if we all pulled our resources and became one person, none of us would make a living off YouTube. I look at it as, pocket money, as it were. Things that buy myself the odd shiny thing, or buy Mary the odd shiny thing. At this point, I've got to start getting organised myself and start ordering up presents and things like that, because it's her birthday on the 9th of December. And then that hateful time of the year, a couple of weeks after. What else? Yeah. And yes, it's that thing that's always a problem. When people are kids, they're easy to buy for. If you've got to buy them presents, you find out what toy they like, or band, or whatever, and or collectible card game they play, and you just get them stuff for that. But as people get older, they get really hard to buy for. Merritt, my darling, how are you, sweetie? All snowbound, you, a little snow bunny. Oh, that's something that did happen at work this week. Now, we're a dog-friendly shop, so people do bring in their doggos and they get treats and fusses and all that. Someone brought in a bunny in one of those clear backpacks that are for transporting small pets. Oh, just epic. Dogs are cool, don't get me wrong. Fussing dogs is awesome. Same with cats, but bunnies are just so much softer and fluffier. And if a bunny licks you, it's special. So, oh no, snow is gone. I guess it warmed up a little bit and probably then rained and just melted all the snow. Yeah, I'm hoping we don't at all winter. I quite happily go through the entire winter without seeing anything on the ground that is white. Whether that be frost, snow, ice. Oh, Shelley's are throwing rocks around again. How the heck did you pick that up? That's almost as big as you are. So yeah, yeah. Although technically at the moment, a freeze for a few days would do us good here. You know, actually let the water drain and then freeze the water that's on the land, and hopefully the river levels and drain levels and everything else levels will drop a bit. Either freeze for a few days or just be dry. Well, that's not likely to happen, having a look at the forecast. I have total confidence that we will not get any snow here. If you're still up, like on the side of a mountain, a couple of miles up in the sky, I doubt that, Pam. Yes, I heard you rolling your eyes from here. Oh, yeah, good one, Yella. Thank you very much. Temporary help. Yes. If you've got money, don't super chat me. Send it to that link there and help Pammy. And I know she'll hate it, but there we go. Junebug, hello. Unfortunately, still no Oscars here. It's because I don't have a big enough tank for Oscars. Or maybe if someone got me an Oscar the Grouch. Oh, and Mike as well. Yes. All the pardon me. And Bobo's one for the Treat of Hope. They not got Fishy Biz. Drew, has he finished with his now? Yes. I have Oscar the Grouch. He's a flower lawn. Yeah. Why has nobody handed me coffee yet? That's basically coffee. Hang on. Yeah, that is the downside to living on your own. There aren't many downsides to living on your own, but the main one is that you have to do stuff yourself. If the place is untidy, you got to tidy it yourself. If it's dirty, you need to clean it yourself. If you're hungry, you need to get up and go to the fridge yourself or cook. Or yeah. Unfortunately, as well as you can train some animals, they're not really capable of doing all that. And I include males amongst that. I'm sure every lady here will have stories about how they asked a male friend, partner, husband, whatever, to do clean something, and then it was done, and then needed doing again. But it's always warmer with two. It is, but I like a cold bed. I'm trying to train Mario. You can't train Mario. Yeah, so far it's totally go with myself. Yeah, exactly. It gives you that look that says, I'm going to poop in your shoes. And pee on your bed just because I can. In that way, Mario's part rabbit. But yeah, seriously, if anyone ever needs cheering up, just type in cute bunny memes into Google and Angry Loaf is a good one as well. Oh, Pam will be selling a buffalo, I'm guessing drawing or picture tonight, rather than an actual buffalo. But is it a proper early wine? Does it have butt in it? That's the way you can tell if it's a true early wine, if you can see the animal's butt. No butt. Oh no, it's a fake. Forgery. I wouldn't be surprised if one of these days Pam just draws me a picture with a load of butts on. Different animal butts all in a row. That wouldn't surprise me. And I'd be eternally grateful, and it would make me smile every time I saw it. But yeah, don't do that, Pam. Don't go wasting your heart's supplies. Oh dear. Yeah, well, I mean, you know, I can't draw, so I just AI image generate them. Um, the Butt Sisters. Now, I've seen that video. I'm bloody sure of it. So about the most accurate I can get to drawing a butt is, let's see if we can do it in chat. Why did you go back to the start, silly thing? That's the closest I can get to drawing a butt. No, boobs is this one. That's boobs. Hey, Ricky. So it's like, just as I'm drawing boobs and butts in the chat. Um, hello, Linkbot. Thank you very much. What's going on? Same stuff, different week, Ricky. Nothing spectacular. Although it'd be great for the algorithm if I had really exciting, cool, and amazing things to share, or massive drama, shock, horror. I mean, I don't like that kind of life. I like to just bump along gently. I don't like ups and downs. Messes with my medication. Well, if I had the ups and downs, I would need the medication. How many body parts can we make in chat? Oh, God. Let's have a look. Let's see, what can we manage? Well, yeah, there is that one. I was maybe trying to be a bit more. Is it that one? No, I'll give up. 12 a.m. woke up a few minutes ago. Broke my official record, slept for over 19 hours. Oh, geez. Ah, rocket ships. Cool. That works better if you put an 8 first to get the rocket boosters at the end. That works even better. Slept for 19 hours. Oh, dear. I can't even remember the last time I slept for 9. Of course, all right. Yes, of course. I've done the boobs and the butt. That's about all there is left. That's the easy ones. Eyes and head hurt. I'm not surprised. You basically lost the day. Or was it a hangover? I think the last time I slept for 19 hours, it probably was a hangover. Yeah, if you've been asleep for that long, yeah. Yeah, so if you slept for 19 hours, it probably is dehydration. So plenty of water. That was Sam that did that, not me. So I have dry sock. Don't want to jinx it. Never had hangovers. I had blackouts. I always woke up fresh in the morning. I didn't have too many hangovers. I just stayed drunk. That's a good way to avoid a hangover. Just stay drunk. Don't do that. Drink responsibly. YouTube and Sharpies Models and Aquatics do not encourage heavy drinking. There we go. Disclaimers out of the way. There we go. Here's how an alcoholic is born. Yes, that's what I used to be. I stopped drinking because of that. Yeah, I mean, I stopped drinking because, alcoholic, but yeah, it's when you get to a certain age though, and it takes you longer to get over the hangover than it took to get the hangover. That's when it stops becoming fun anymore. When it takes you 2 or 3 days to recover, it's not good. And plus, think of all the money you save by not spending it on booze. I get a hangover with fizzy pop. Oh dear. Well, you've seen firsthand how much of that I get through, Andrew. So you'll be surprised. No, I don't. Or won't be surprised. Don't drink day, go slept and the shops are closed and liquor cabinet keys with mum. Oh no. 420 has no hangover. It doesn't. But YouTube has been updated in the background. So 420, yeah, you don't have a hangover, but much like with alcohol, I have woke up in the morning still very stoned. Sweeteners cause that. Yeah, well, the sweeteners are just nasty. Oh, but they're not sugar, and sugar is bad for you. No, it's not. Excessive sugar is. Things like aspartame is, whoa. They don't even taste sweet, they just taste bitter to me. And I know my sense of taste and smell are all janky, but I can instantly tell the difference between a full fat and a diet drink or a zero drink, which is the same thing. No matter how they try and market it differently. Diet Coke and Coke Zero is the same thing. They've just changed the type of sweeteners they use. Yeah, I think sweeteners are going to be the next big thing that on the health radar. Oh, don't have sweeteners. I wonder if we could start a rumor, start the old thing that sweeteners cause autism or something like that. So much pollution in the air that breathing is bad for you now. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's not bad around here because we are, mostly countryside. Generally, the worst things in the air are going to be cow farts. Um, yeah, I mean, I certainly wouldn't want to live in a big city. Although it's getting better, more people are getting on bikes. Cars are having, tighter and tighter emissions tests to pass. Engines are getting smaller and more efficient, so there's less crud going into the air, catalytic converters, all that stuff. It's all improving our air quality. I mean, not overall on the planet, but just in. No, they're not. They're not. Zero sugar products taste foul. And here on Nix the bikes and wait a minute. Yes, this is why I bought a bike that doesn't look cool. Um, it's not the kind of thing that a young lad is going to want to ride. So yeah, but yeah, bike theft is a big thing. Renovation work going at home, sinuses are messing me up. All the dust getting up your schnoz. Yes, I get that as well. Um, in my case, it's probably just the amount of times I've broken my nose that it doesn't clear itself out properly, or the amount of hair up there that prevents me breathing. Um, but yeah, no, I cannot do zero sugar drinks. It's just all those sweeteners. It's like they just taste bitter to me, and they got a really nasty aftertaste. Um, and I'm kind of getting used to them a bit now because we have the sugar tax in the UK. So full fat soft drinks like your Cokes and your Pepsis and your various other things, um, there is more tax on it the more sugar there is in it. So the way they've got around that is by reducing the sugar content but adding some sweeteners. So it's not too bad. Marble dust. Yeah, it's not something most people have to worry about, marble dust. Yeah, it's very fine. It's pretty much like talcum powder. It's technically, when you're doing anything like cutting marble or whatever, you should be using water to keep the dust down. But that's UK building regs, so the building regs may vary depending on which part of the world you live in. We had a problem with taxes on tea. We solved that. Yeah, and now you make it in a bloody microwave. Oh. But just think of the lovely tannins in that water. And how many fish that caffeine killed. Oh dear. It's one of those things. These things come in, and then people try and find ways around them. And the way Coca-Cola found a way around the problem was they reduced the size of the bottle from 2 litres to 1.5 litres and charged the same amount of money for it. I'm not kidding. So, oh right, so they basically worked out that even if they Did I know Coca-Cola made Santa Red Hue was green? Yes, I was fully aware of that. This is a ye olde ancient German creature. At least the fish, yeah, the fish like the tannins, but caffeine's very toxic. Shrinkflation, yeah. It's what happens when you get a boner and it's smaller than it used to be. Made Santa a communist. Yeah, rather than an eco warrior. What was the other one? It was Santa, and how can I not remember the name of the Germanic folklore being that would whip children with birches and chains if they misbehaved, and then somehow that became giving them a lump of coal. Not the Grinch. You know who I mean. Someone will remember and put it in chat. Basically, the Yule demon, Sinterklaas or Sinterniklaas, was the saint of Yule, as it were. Possibly originally, but pretty much everything here came through Germany or France, so depending on who was invading us at the time. That's really bugging me now. I can't remember the name of the. I'm gonna have to Google it. And don't worry, this will be one of the least weird of my Google searches. German Christmas demon. What's it called? Krampus, that was it. Yes, Krampus. And yes, there is now on my Google search history German Christmas demon. That's one of the least weird things on there. Yes, with a K. Of Germanic descent. So German's pretty much anything that sounds like a K is a K. If it sounds like a C, it's a C. They don't tend to mix them up too much. They're not like us that put two different sounding versions of the same letter in a word. Circumcise, for example. And they're not as annoying as the French, where the French for bird is oiseau, which you think would be spelled W-A-Z-O, but it's not. It's spelled O-I-S-E-A-U-X. That's just one of the most French things there. W sounds like a V, yes. Extra alphabets, yes. Most of the European languages tend to have extra letters or accents, like umlauts and things. I mean, English used to have other letters as well. The double E was a letter. TH was, how you see ye olde. Well, the E isn't pronounced, so it's old. And the ye is actually the, because the letter is not a Y, it's a thorn, which is TH. So yeah, this Language is a very confusing thing. When you get multiples all going, and the Germans especially just like to make words even longer than they really have to be. I mean, just some of the names of the German half-tracks from World War II I won't even attempt to pronounce. Yeah. So in the case of Wassertang, instead of the double S, you'll get that weird shaped B. Just call it underwater tang because that's what it means. Source as in sub, and then Wasser, water. There's so much foreign languages, and Bengali, I hardly read Bengali. Last week my dad got me a Bengali ABC book. Oh, and then yeah, so I can read badly spelled English. Don't worry. Oh dear. Yeah, well, so in the UK we have a thing where we like to teach children how to do things twice. So to start off, they learn to read and write phonetically, which I can't even really begin to explain. But basically, it just means they learn to spell things wrong. And then we have to reteach them how to spell it correctly. I'd like to know whose idea that was and how much money they made from it and how good a salesman they were to get people to believe it. And also because it only works if you speak in a clipped, pronounced English accent. You know, like the Queen's English, like you'd hear on the BBC or the news or something. Yeah, it doesn't work with regional dialects or accents. Because the word, just as an example, the word goat is not pronounced goat in Norfolk. It's pronounced gut. The phonetic alphabet doesn't allow for that. Apparently, English is a thing in London. They're teaching Hindi, but writing English, not yeah, English, Chinglish, Japlish. There's all sorts going on. And they even tried to invent a language that was it a mixture of English and Spanish? Esperanto. They sort of invented this new language. It's going to be the next big thing, and everyone's going to use it. And then it died. Yeah, gibberish. Yeah, that's Welsh. Welsh is gibberish. You need a sinus infection and a sore throat to be able to pronounce Welsh. And there doesn't need to be border signs that tell you when you're crossing into Wales from England. You can just tell by the signs that all the road signs are in both languages. So it'll say slow Araf. So you read the Araf first, think, what the hell does that mean? Oh, slow. Oh, Christ. Yeah, it's just a way of keeping us English out of Wales. That's all that is. Then all the various different parts of the United Kingdom all originally had their own languages. A little bit of Welsh. And I can read it and pronounce it, but I can't translate from Welsh to English and speak in it. Like I might be able to say French. Starting here, 3 languages. So yeah, I mean, so the Angles in East Anglia had their language. The Southerners, Cornish, Devon, they got their own language. Welsh. Birmingham still has, because no one can understand them. Cumbrians, Wessex, all these ancient kingdoms, they all had their own languages, and then they all, over centuries, converted to English, but kept parts of the original language, which is why you get such stark differences between the various accents and speech patterns and all that kind of stuff. So what my American friends would know as a ladybug, or we would call a ladybird, in Norfolk is a bishy barney bee. I'm not joking. Google Norfolk for ladybug. And the Norfolk spelling of you, as in oi, you, is Y-E-W. Welsh accent, it's not an accent, it's a weird noise. And the Welsh accent is really good for singing. But that's about it. Other than that, in Wales, they didn't have to put up the sort of spit guards and whatever in the stores when COVID hit. So they have them anyway, just because of the way people speak. Yeah, it's a heavy accent. It's the same in all the various parts of the country. So I'm in pretty much South Norfolk, or Breckland, and what's our excuse for calling an eggplant an aubergine? Because it's an aubergine. Probably comes from the original name of what it was called, where they originally came from. And why would you call it an eggplant? It looks nothing like a bloody egg. Better off calling it the dildo plant. Then you get the opposite with something like, is it coriander? Yeah, we had coriander, you have cilantro. And it's the same thing, I don't know. I think it's just being different to be different sometimes. You can't scramble an aubergine. No, you can't. But you can drop kick them, and you can shoot them. And you don't refrigerate eggs. Yes, you don't put eggs in a fridge. And European and UK laid eggs are illegal in America, and American eggs are illegal over here. Now, Tommy doesn't, because Tommy gets his straight from the bird like we do in the UK. They literally come out the bird's butt, go rumble, rumble, rumble down whatever conveyor belt or whatever in the big farm, or get collected, go into the pack, and then go on the shelf in the shop. The only reason they need to be refrigerated is because of the way American eggs are treated, makes them more susceptible to actually harboring pathogens. Because they're washed and sanitized, and extra steps are taken that really don't need to be taken, because they are a shelf-stable product in their own packaging, because someone at some point got scared about salmonella, which, newsflash, unless you vaccinate your chickens against salmonella, they all have it. Yeah, it cleans the naturally protective outer layer. See you later, Sammy boy. Love you too, my friend. There's a layer on the outside of the shell that protects the shell from bacteria and water and all that kind of stuff getting into it. But by washing it in warm water and then sanitizing it, you actually strip that layer off. So you then have eggs that you have to keep refrigerated. which doesn't really seem to me to be the best way to make a profit off of eggs. Yeah, it's a slime layer. Yeah, it's basically chicken butt slime. Um, yeah, it dries super fast. Sometimes if there's excess on there, the outside of the egg will feel a little bit sort of dusty. But yeah, that's a protective layer that protects what's inside the egg. Trust chickens; they've been doing this stuff for millions of years. They know how to do an egg. So it's just so weird to me is that on one hand, do that to eggs with all the cleaning and scrubbings and the stuffs to make them safer, but then still put the really bad food colorings and preservatives in, the ones that cause hyperactivity and cancer. Oh, what this food coloring causes hyperactivity? Let's put this in children's sweets and blame the sugar. Yeah, water runs off of eggs. If you got a fresh egg, water will just run off of it, bead up and run off. Whereas if you clean the egg, it'll go suck in the water and any pathogens, bacteria, microbes that happen to be in it. Yeah, that's what I don't get. We're trying to be safe and nice and do it really safely and hygienically, and we're actually making a worse product. Yes, the shells are porous, which is how the embryo gets its air or its oxygen. Gases can osmose through an eggshell, liquids can't, unless you clean off that outer layer. What's it called? Time to Google it again. No, cuticle, that's it. The outer layer of the egg, the cuticle. By washing it, you get rid of that. And you make the egg shorter lived, less, yeah, yeah. Use glass to handle them, as a super dirty duck hatchet. I mean, I think the most that our farmers do is they basically go through a thing that while they roll through a thing that kind of brushes the worst of the muck off. Um, but yeah, pretty much every time you buy half a dozen or a dozen eggs, there'll be at least one that's got a bit of poop on the shell and a feather stuck to it. But you don't eat the shell and the feather and the poop on the outside, you eat what's inside it. And if you can crack an egg properly, you don't get any of that in the pan. You just and then you wash your hands afterwards, like you do when you handle any raw foods, like meats or eggs, or you wash your hands with soap and water, not with anti-bac hand sanitizer, because all that does is destroy your natural bacteria, which keep you safe. Yes, we've seen I mean, obviously, there's not been actual papers written on it yet, but I've seen it where people over the whole COVID pandemic thing. I understand, I get people were sanitizing, but they sanitized everything and kept sanitizing and kept sanitizing, and they killed all the bacteria. And that, because they've got it all on their hands, it ends up in their mouth, it ends up being soaked in the bloodstream, kills a lot of the bacteria that we need, kills off the immune system, and then people start getting sick a lot more. Yeah, yeah, it's stays there long enough for the internal membrane to shrink away. Yes. And as the internal membrane sinks away, it creates a space which air is drawn into. It's almost like these things were a miracle of evolution that we don't need to mess with. Yeah. Yes, as I say, bacteria have got a bad name. I mean, I don't know what the percentages is of which ones are beneficial and which ones are bad. It's like people will pay a fortune for a bit of gone off milk yogurt that's got beneficial bacteria in it, and they'll drink it quite happily. I go, oh, that makes me feel so much better. Then someone mentions a bacteria on anything else, I'm like, kill it. No, bacteria aren't all bad. And I say this as someone who's had several bacterial infections. Or creation. Yeah, that's how it's going. Finally trained one of the gliders, as I say, Patagium. She stretches the gliding membrane. Oh. Right. Do that and you get a treat. Don't care what you call the brand architect, so there is one. I'm going to go with Dave. No, actually, HMS Warspite. There we go. That's the one. Yeah, hail Dave. Yes, Dave Lister. Oh, and you'll be, yeah, you probably got to be British to get that joke or that reference. So it's the episode of Red Dwarf where they find because they're traveling back through time and weird stuff's going on, but they find the first page, the original first page of the Bible, and it basically says like, "Hi Jim, hope you enjoy the read. This is I've finally completed my first fiction novel." Yeah, and you can do that on UK TV, and it doesn't upset people. Yeah. Oh, Danny boy. The eels are jellied with liquor and mash and a pie. Yeah. Jellied eels is one food that's not going to make it anywhere. People believe all kind of stuff nowadays. What's the bother? Nothing worry about it exactly. But you don't believe in exactly what I believe. Therefore, you must be wrong and you need saving. Yeah. 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 Little fish cichlids as well. Yes. Or vertically challenged. That's the other one, isn't it? Yeah. Can't call a dwarf a dwarf. Unless you're speaking about the fantasy races from various different genre and universes. And probably the two funniest lines in movies ever. Nobody tosses a dwarf. You'll have to toss me. Ono is preferred to be called dwarves rather than midget. Apparently, dwarf is slightly taller. There's so many forms of dwarfism. Yes. I figured you meant B rather than Peacock. Yeah, I think it's probably frowned upon if you see a short person taking a pee and just call him a dwarf. Yes, yeah, I think, and then is it midget, dwarf, and then small person. And it's sort of there's several different rungs, as it were, on the ladder. God, that sounds bad, doesn't it? And never knew you till I met them. Husband runs a non-profit organisation for handicapped children that can't afford medical equipment at home. They sound like good neighbours to have to me. Sound like thoroughly decent folks, exactly. Kind of people who will help people. And I bet they asked you more than once what the weather was like up there. Or if you're in the store, sorry, can you just get that down for me? Yeah, I mean, I've not worked with dwarves. I've worked with some very short people that need help for all sorts of things. I currently work with a couple, not even 5 foot tall, and John, what? Can't reach. Fair enough. Called the Joseph Thomas Foundation if anyone ever wants to help them out. James Sammy Boys, actually, if you've got a link, feel free to post it, Tommy. Out of Abilene, Texas, I live in Weatherford now. Or do you call it Weatherford? Because there is a UK Weatherford. And I'm hoping I got Abilene right as well. Or is it Abilene or something? Like Mobile, Alabama. No, it's called Mobile. I'll take the bloody E off the end of it then. Then it'll be like the kiddies' toys. Or Butte, Montana. It's pronounced Butte. I mean, I know, especially from someone who lives where I live, where the pronunciations are so different to the spellings. It's pot, kettle, black, but yeah. No, it's not called an abutment, it's called an abutment. It's a butt. You live in a place called Butte. I'd be better off calling it the other name that place has got. Found a replacement for the R word, cuckoo and wackadoodle. Said them both correctly, wowzers. It's almost like I've been paying attention to watching American stuffs. Yeah, Weatherford. Yeah, the only times we actually call something a Ford in the UK is if it's a car or the actual a river runs across a road. Other than that, it's Ford. Abilene. Abilene in a thing called love. Let's get into the root of my heart. There we go. Thank you very much, Tommy. Yeah. I do live in a place called Butte. Well, I mean, given some of the place names we've got in the UK, and there's a place in Orkney that's spelt Tango Whiskey Alpha Tango Tango. German word or Swedish? Yes. And the always funny Slots Hole Lane just down the road from me. I don't want to get demonetized for singing R. Kelly songs because I don't want to be associated with kiddie fiddling. That's the same reason I won't sing Rolf Harris songs either. Although now we actually know what he was talking about when he was singing Jake the Peg with the extra leg. Or Two Little Boys. I live in a butt-called place. Arsehampton. Um, Attleborough, Attleborough is fairly boring. It's the borough or settlement of Eitling, the first Danish settlement in the area. Hazel, the Podunks can't spell, so they spelled it Hazel. Yes, Hazel. And you know what? You got an Hazel voice, Tommy. And I'm not going to start singing Adel voice either. Because the more often I say Adel, the more chance I'm going to get it wrong and refer to either a 1930s German dictator or a variety of adult entertainment. I mean, I say some of the if Andrew's still here, he'll know some of the place names in Norfolk are not pronounced like they're spelled. As and nowhere near. Let's have some fun. I'll stick a few in the chat. Let's start with a nice easy one first. That is pronounced Cossie. Friend came back from London, he bought Marlborough Red for me. UK Red is stronger. Yeah, our Marlborough Red are the ones that make your lungs bleed. Yeah, Cossie. What are the ones we got? Worcestershire. Yeah, it's not Worcestershire. It's Worcestershire. Actually pronounce it Worcestershire. But yeah, that one I just typed in chat is Haysborough. There's a whole bunch of them. Tackleston. One that catches everyone out, including me, because I hadn't heard it pronounced because I'm not local to the very butt end of the very Norfolk coast. There's this one. You'd think this one would be easy pronounced, wouldn't you? You think that one would be super easy. Even Dan can pronounce that one. Worcestershire. Yeah. And in fact, phonetic, it'd be Worcestershire. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, last one I put in there was Stookie. Yeah. It's not pronounced Stiffkey, it's pronounced Stookie. And there's all sorts of weird Norfolk place names. Only with a teeth in. Exactly. And I say the more north you go in Norfolk and the more out of the touristy area. I know it sounds weird saying touristy areas, but like Cromer, Sheringham, Hunstanton, those kind of places, just south or in between of those, you get the real broad Norfolk accent. Yeah, but we invented it. You just perverted it. Ungrateful colonials. As I was saying earlier, that's because the Angles of East Anglia weren't originally English speakers. None of us were. So that comes from the original Angle, Anglish. You getting there? Angle, Anglish, English. Yeah, that's the original. Wait till you get further north, places up here start sounding entirely how they're spelled. We're incredibly Welsh. Yes. I still think the best one ever was the football results. The Scottish football results are always funny anyway. But there were two teams in Scotland. One called Forfar Athletic, and the other one is East Fife. And the result was East Fife 4, Forfar 5. It's just one of those that made me laugh when I heard it. Yeah, you knew which ones I was going for. It's like the classic Irish newspaper headline of Cork man drowns. Just, I mean, don't get me wrong, tragic for his family, but geez, that's funny. Yeah, and then you start putting things into a Geordie accent before you start getting to Scotland, and it gets really weird. I mean, if someone says to you, Reet Mara, you got a clue what I mean? What it means in English is, hello, how are you, my friend? Reet Mara. Yeah, if you look into the history of the English language, it's very convoluted. The joke is often made of it being three languages wearing a trench coat. Andrew went really well, had good natters and chats, and Andrew did some filming. May have gone home with a few fishies. Yeah, and Andrew got fishies, I got pork pies. I think that was a fair trade. Yeah, those pork pies were something special, I've got to say. I did actually get a pork pie from my butcher's, and it was nowhere near as nice. Post-monsoon bug season, now can't open my windows. If I open it, the rooms are going to be swarmed by leafhoppers. Oh, joy. Yeah, it's like me in March or April. Maybe not that early, maybe more April, early May. I'll leave the back door open, I'll get swarmed with frogs. And then generally late September, early October, then I'll get swarmed by the big spiders. Pork pie didn't go down. Now, unfortunately, I've had award-winning pies. But yeah, the rest of them are gonna just be blando. Had a meal deal the other day and had a Pork Farms pork pie. It's just such a letdown. Had to drench it in brown sauce just to give it some flavour. Is a leafhopper a grasshopper? I think it's a fairly similar thing, but they bite. Food going to be described as basmati rice with a dash of leafhopper. Yeah, basmati rice is nice. Can't go wrong with a bit of basmati or a bit of pilaf. Oh, Lady Diane, my darling, how are you? Oh, stopping in for a bit, nursing a dislocated hip. Oh, ow, I know how that feels. You have my definite sympathies for that one. And it hurts me enough, and mine aren't properly formed and do drop out on their own. Ouch. Yeah, English mustard from pork pie, surely, yeah, but I needed more. I needed more than just mustard to cover up the taste. Sending very gentle, healing, snuggly hugs, my lady. As if you've not dislocated a hip before. It is really painful. Sitting hurts, standing hurts. So you want to lay down, but there's only very certain positions you can lay down in, and it doesn't hurt. Yeah, hips are really bad when you injure them. Keep the fish room doors and windows closed so the fish go crazy jumping to catch the bugs. I do know you have my full sympathies. I'm sure you'll recover quickly. We have been worrying where you were because we hadn't seen you for a while. Fishies are all good as far as I'm aware. We had a few slight changes, nothing serious. We have Oblivion Rammies and today's new additions, which are probably hiding. Oh no, they're out. Quick. See if we can get them on camera. First time. Scooting up the glass at the back. There we go. Just about see them right in the back. Up near the top. That's my two new yo-yo loaches. Oh, and flecky snowly goodness. But yeah, a couple of yo-yo loaches so that I can deal with some snail issues in some of my tanks. Oh, and as Andrew enjoyed watching these crazy cats while he was here, Shelly Dwellies. So yeah, they were rescaping while Andrew was here. And then yeah, we just got the there he is. There's the star. Spotty! And yeah, the ever increasing Limia crowd. Would it be safe to call this a Limia mosh pit now? There we go up the top. Let's see the frying amongst the random bit of moss that started growing out. And yeah, basically all the plants are full of them. Oh, we can't look at that without. There's Bert. And yeah, that's just a ridiculous amount of Limia. Yeah. So much for being hard to find and breed. But who else can we see? More Limia. Oh, we do have in the breeder box. We do have another batch of bristly babies. Do you have any of the black neons left, or have they all been munched now? I suspect all the black neons have probably been munched. Yeah, it's just ridiculous numbers of. And if we get closer, you might see some of the fries scooting about, because I mean there are hundreds of them in there. And we have the professionally grumpy boy down there, Mr. Pisto. Yes. And back to the shellies. Can we see any shelly? Can we see any shellets? There's bloody dozens of baby shellies in there. Oh, there's a few swimming about. So there's a. He is a big boy. He's a very big boy for an Apisto. He's what? Yeah, about that big. Is he? Yeah, he's probably getting on for 4 inches or 10 centimeters. He's a chunky boy. but he's got a mouth deformity. He can't close his mouth. So Missy Pisto wasn't interested in breeding with him. He's a Cacatoides triple red. Yeah, I think he's a triple red. Yeah, he's as big as my head is. If I go closer, he's even bigger than my head. Yeah, he's a big boy. But he's as soft as muck. So the reason he's in there on his own is because I didn't want the trio of Bolivian rams that have gone into the tank he was in to pick on him. So yeah, Missy Pisto didn't want to breed with him because he's got that deformity, obviously. Oh, got some gorgeous zebra acaras. Oh, I bet they're beautiful. And new anglefish. I'm kind of tempted to get an angelfish to go in there to keep the fry under control, but I've got a funny feeling that the lemia would kill the angelfish. Is there? Yeah, so they're getting a little bit of colour now, Dan. I've got plenty of tannins in the water, and we've got some butt water in there as well, so we're softening it up a bit for them. They're starting to colour up a bit, but they're still pretty young. So, but I've had them a good few weeks now, so they've lasted longer than German blue rams do. So fingers crossed. At some point, we might get Betty Bolivians. Hopefully, I've got a trio, so odds are there should be at least one either male and one female in there. Yeah, plenty of. Well, it's like botanicals. It's whatever is on the roof of my shed and in my water butt that's rotting, and red bush tea. Well, I know what's on the roof of my shed, and I know what leaves are in it. Raising a few Macalapuru. Ooh, very pretty. So it's the Mary's doing wonderfully, thank you. Now the floods are subsiding and she can get back and forth to work okay. They did close her place of work last week for a day because of floods. Deb's got some new plants for her new tank. I'm not sure if you're liking it yet. Yeah, I know it'll take a while to come in and start growing. Yeah, it's Manakapur. Yeah. We kind of knew what you meant, Ricky. Don't worry about it. Eakins! How you doing? Hope all is well with you, sir. Yeah, so if you've not seen my video, just Google image search Norfolk flooding or Storm Babette flooding, and you'll find it, or Suffolk flooding, or even just it's a working and lurking blanket hellos. Well, don't work too hard. I ain't going to pay you more. And all you do if you work really hard is you make someone else richer. Which I understand is how capitalism works. But yeah, as you're in pain, I'm not going to go with that joke. But yeah, it's. And we use the kind of floods in the UK, just not this part of the UK. Well, not since we drained all the land anyway. Yeah, I think there's 139 homes in my town that had to be evacuated, and people having to stay with friends or whatever, and in hotels being put up because of insurance, and ordering dinner, don't know what to get. I want a quick biryani if it's a biryani at the end of the day. Ooh. How about a Rogan Josh or Josh, whichever way you want to pronounce it? Bit more heat in it. Yeah, or a dal. And I know it's not Indian food, but you can't go wrong with Bombay potatoes. Too oily. Tikka masala. Chicken korma. There you go. Ask an actual Indian restaurant to make a chicken tikka masala. They'll shoot you. Korma is basically chicken with gravy. Yes, basically what we're learning here is that if you have these things called floodplains and water meadows, it's best not to cover them with tarmac concrete and houses. And if there are ditches and drains and culverts and sluices, it's best to not let them get full of crud. You might actually remember, Dan, I'm pretty sure Andrew would remember, but when we were younger, the Environment Agency probably, there would be people going around and dredging and clearing rivers and canals and streams and stuff, so that when there was a lot of rain, the water could go through them. But due to cost-cutting measures, they got rid of the people who do that, so they let them all silt up and get full of branches and fallen trees and stolen bikes and razor scooters and shopping trolleys, and yeah, they clear them out so that the water could escape. They stopped doing that, and now things are flooding more. Wonder why that might be. I've got to lose weight because my doc is forcing me to. Diet food tastes so sad. It does. Low-fat Indian food. Oh God. Yeah, that's a tricky one. It's not really known over here for being low-fat. Especially once you have, I mean, obviously rice is the carbs. Naan bread pizza, that'd be cheese, so that'd be quite fattening as well. Or if you've not tried that, naan bread pizza. What was the fishies? Fat. What's that? The American. Yeah. I've already had a bit of a. Well, me and Tommy have already had a bit of a rant about the American food industry. If you'd like to hear it, when we're finished, you can go and rewatch. Am I really bad at selling myself, or is it just me? Every school, church, and community had a handyman that would go out and do it, and now we just have street sweepers that say, "Not my job." Yeah, basically, we don't have people do that job anymore because now we need to save money so we can have more people sitting in an office with a non-job. Well, boss, what we need someone to keep the ditches and the culverts and whatever clear. So, do you think you could do without your personal assistant? and we just have them instant. Oh no, I need my personal assistant. I'd never be able to get my work done without a personal assistant. Well, your predecessor managed it, and their predecessor managed it. You do realise you are allowed to turn off Facebook and YouTube, right? And TikTok and one of the F1s. Yeah, the community spirit. I mean, thankfully, this part of the country there still is some community spirit because we had some of our tradesmen coming in, getting dirty water pumps and hoses and stuff like that, and going down and helping the people who got flooded. The council opened up the town hall, as it were, and set up beds and stuff in there with dividers for people who didn't have somewhere to stay. So, and people have been pulling together. It's just one of those things that the way things are now, people communicate via the internet or mobile phone data. They don't actually speak to each other face to face. A lot of people don't know their neighbours' names or what they do, don't chat. They'll come into a shop and just stand there absolutely silent while you're serving them. And you're like, do you not want a bit of a chat while you're here? Okay, you don't want to get yourself in trouble, so lurk away, Eakins. Oh dear. Admire the Altons from afar. Yeah, there were some rather pretty anglefish when I was at Taverham today, like the smoky pinoys, black marbles, blue marbles. Oh dear, what stunned you to silence, Pam? Have I said something that absurd? Or have you run out of coffee and that's why you're stunned in silence? Yeah, I mean, also I had my black, well, she was supposed to be a black marble, but she was all black and veil tail, Dorian, if anyone remembers that long ago. And then she had to go to another home because she got fully grown and rather aggressive and started eating all my other fish. Was it guppies or was it neons? Yeah, it was the guppies and the neons she was eating. These days I wouldn't be worried about a guppy. Back then I was. Back then I was chuffed and happy to be breeding guppies. Oh, I know they're cichlids. And they're not dwarf cichlids. They've got big cichlid mentality and a semi-dwarf body, which is not a good combination with small fish. I mean, it seems like, it sounds left, but Nanakara are a dwarf cichlid, but they haven't got the cichlid vibe. Same with things like Apistos or, to a lesser extent, cribs. Cribs are more aggressive, but generally they're only aggressive when they've got fry. So if you have dwarf cichlids and they're not breeding, they are super chill. And I'm pretty sure if Bert and Ernie, one of them happened to be a female, there would probably be carnage happening in that tank every time they bred. As it is, Bert, Ernie and Donkey were all boys, so there was no breedy going on. The only arguing went on between them as who was dominant. And that was always Bert and Ernie. Donkey was just like, I don't care. I'm just going to hang out over here and look at a plant. watch it grow. Weren't the brightest, bless him. It is a good survival trait, but yeah, it's a. So I had an angel. I'm sure I could probably breed them if I wanted to, but I don't really have the space to be breeding angels. Plus, they don't sell. I mean, most people have a big enough tank will have a bristlenose and an angel, because people have angelfish, but they'll have one. So yeah, I'm not going to even bother trying to breed angelfish. I mean, maybe, if Bert and Ernie bite the bucket, then we'll have to think about something good to go in there with that. In there as a centerpiece fish, something loud and showy, but preferably not overly aggressive. Maybe just a school of Epistogramma, like 2 or 3 boys and half a dozen females. That'd be cool. Actually, colony breeder. But then colony breeding Epistos, not a good idea. Because I'd end up with bloody thousands of them and not be able to sell them. As that is the thing, when you breed more expensive, less common fish, you sell less of them. But they tend to produce just as many as the more common, cheaper fish. So you get stuck, and then you're trying to sell adults. I can breed fancy red guppy. No, I can't. Yeah, I'll say it's different places. I mean, here, an angel might get £1 each, £1 each, if I was lucky. They're 10 a penny. People buy angels and they buy 2 or 3 and they breed, and then they give them to the shop because they don't know what to do with them. Same thing happens with crebensis and guppies and platies and mollies and sailfins, swordtails, sorry. So bristlenoses do well because people want bristlenoses, because I want one of those algae-eating suckerfish. You mean a bristlenose? But yeah, so things like angels. And if you go with a rare flavour of angel, then yes, you'll get slightly more for them, but you'll sell less of them because they're more expensive. Excuse me. Yeah, you kind of want to breed something that you can sell quite easily. Like shell dwellers are really good around here, because we have hard water. Yeah, and we've got all sorts of licensing laws and pet shop laws and stuff in place in the UK. That means it is a lot harder to move fish on, especially if you're trying to sell them. If you're just trying to get rid of them for store credit, then that's pretty easy, or just give them away. But if you're actually trying to sell them, and not to the general public, because no offense, but the general public sucks. So I wouldn't have a problem selling fish to a fellow fish farmer, because I know they know what they're doing, and I know they understand the care requirements and the nitrogen cycle and all the stuff that we as hobbyists take for granted. But when you're selling to the general public, you're selling to people who have no idea what they're doing most of the time. So we don't really have swaps and auctions. too often over here. You can give them away for some donation money, so it won't, yeah, no, shops won't give you money. And let's be honest, when you're in a position of someone like me who doesn't want more tanks, doesn't want more fish, generally, well, not very often, not many, you will get to the point where I think I've still got somewhere around £100 credit up at Maidenhead Aquatics. But, well, I know I'm somewhere around £100 of credit at Maidenhead Aquatics, but there's nothing there I want. Yeah. I know it's just free stuff basically now, but I don't want more tanks. I've not got space for more fish. Don't want All Pond Solutions filters. Don't want any other canisters or anything like that. So, you know, it'd be just buying a lot of small tubs of algae wafers that I'll go through one a day, and then right, that was done. Because they don't sell algae wafers in anything but the small packs. Yeah, I would say if you go frozen food or live foods with store credit, then fair enough, that'll work. I don't have a freezer, so frozen food is probably not a good idea. I know. Oh, shock, horror, how do you survive without a freezer? I'll let you in a little secret. Yeah, Maidenhead's the garden centre fish store, yes. I'll let you in a little bit of a secret. I live about 3 minutes walk from the local supermarket. So if I want to get something that needs to be frozen, I can just go and get it there and then. It literally takes me 15 minutes to go in there, get what I want, and come out again. Yeah, Maidenhead is also the expensive ones. We used to actually have a couple of Maidenhead employees that would join the streams, and they both quit. Not the streams, they quit Maidenhead. Yeah, and my local one is 40-minute bus ride away. Sorry, Chris wasn't happy with the sound. Oh, bless him. Give Chris a bit fist bump for him and tell him not to worry about it. Am I drinking liquid death? No. Relentless energy drink. It's all right. So you don't want a grumpy Chris, that's for sure. Where were we? Yeah, expensive fish stores. Yeah, so as I say, freezer went on the blink 2 days after I bought 40 quid worth of frozen bloodworm. Oh, and it's not late enough in the year yet for it to be a frozen hellscape up there yet. Ooh. I would say if it had been like January or February, you could have just left them outside and it'd have been fine. But yeah, I'd say it's. I might look into it, see if there's like some tiny little freezer I can buy that I can just stick frozen foods in, but I couldn't be faffing around with defrosting it, and I'd keep forgetting, and then it'd just be running a freezer with frozen bloodworm and whatever in it and not using it. Because it's just a lot easier to pick up a pot and just go sprinkle, 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 sprinkle. There's no freezer in my fridge, Ricky. It's just a fridge. Costco has a good mini freezer. Costco is not in the UK. I'm sure there are decent mini freezers I could buy if I needed one, or I could buy a fridge freezer, but then I would lose a surface in my rather small kitchen. Because currently I store energy drinks bin bags, and a toaster on top of my fridge. Fridge is counter height, and that's still well too big for what I put in it. Yeah, that's something I could get, but I don't need it. I've been living here for 26 years and I've not needed a freezer yet, so I think I can survive without one. And the main reason for the fridge is so that I do my shopping once a week rather than every day. Because I find if I go shopping every day to buy what I'll fancy eating that day, my food bill is way higher than if I buy my food at the beginning of the week or the end, whatever, and go through that until I run out and then buy more. It's certainly cheaper to do a week's shopping at a time rather than. None of my family eats at my house because there's mealworms in the fridge and frozen worms in the freezer. Yeah, that's only one accidental meal you make. It would be hard for most people, but I'm adjusted to not having a freezer. So having a freezer, I'll be like, I've got to put stuff in it. And then I just buy a bunch of freezer food and then go, right, okay. And I forget about it, and because I'm just not used to having it. It's like people with, what are those newfangled, what do they call them newfangled mini convection ovens? Air fryers, that's it. Oh, I don't know how I survived without my air fryer. Just use your microwave. It's got a convection function on it. It's the same thing. Helium World Aquatics. How you doing, Scotty? As always, hugs to the lovely page. And you too, if you want one. As Andrew found out, yeah, I do just hug people. I love my hair. But yeah, it is just a mini convection oven. That's all they are. And maybe slightly more efficient than the older style convection ovens, but yeah, that's what. Got an air fryer, never used it. End up using my oven and microwave. Yeah, we use what we used to. Most of what I eat is either microwaved, in a George Foreman grill, or in a frying pan. Putting out wicked bloodworms and chips all week. Oh, I don't want to know what bloodworms would taste like. Oh, and especially if you're allergic to them. Oh man, that'd be evil. I wonder if you could kill someone that way. Would bloodworms be detectable if you mushed them up and put them in someone's food? Microwave ruins vitamins. Haven't had one forever now. Doesn't have a taste. It's got a strange smell. So if you put it in food that's got a very strong aroma, don't ask how I know. Don't worry, I know what pee tastes like. We've all accidentally drunk or eaten something we shouldn't have done. But yeah, because there are people who are allergic to bloodworms and it causes anaphylaxis. And that's just from touching them. So, or putting the hands, some people just put the hand in a fish tank that someone's fed bloodworms in and they have a reaction. So as I got no taste, if you were to say mix some bloodworms in a curry or something, something that's got a lot of flavour and a lot of aroma, I'm not trying to give people, hints on how to get rid of partners, but or enemies or customers. Or it was a 2,500 rupee bet between me and Sandy. Oh dear, yeah. There's been a lot of people that's not curried raw. I mean, curried, yeah. I mean, it's the same. If you curried them, you wouldn't taste them. English mushroom on top. I'll never know. New freezer coming tomorrow. Result. Yeah, stick a bit of Coleman's on something. I'll never know what was in it. Values their ability to taste after the first two mouthfuls, and then their entire sinus cavity will empty, and then their eyes will start running. Yeah, can't beat a bit of Coleman's mustard. Yeah, that's making me hungry now. Making me think about mustard. But yeah, I've definitely eaten worse things. I mean, I know I'm not allergic to bloodworms because we used to use them as bait when we were fishing. Coleman's mustard for your condiment and COVID repellent needs. Oh yes, and to send some to an American. No, just use it like your normal burger mustard. Darling bunny, how are you, Bun Bun? Because turn up just before we're finishing. Good to see you too. Yeah, roll over in the heat pad. Can't type on that side. You rest up and heal up, my lady. We like having you around. You have been missed. Whether that's just me not being in other streams that you've been in, I've not seen you about for a while. Mwah. Big smoochies. Oh, Sarah? Oh, I'm missing someone. And the stand's trying to throw me. I've been on vacation too. Ooh, very posh. I had a week off the other week and spent most of it clearing up and tidying up and sorting things out for Andrew's visit. Hey ho, there we go. Bye bye. So I'm only going to be here another minute or two, so eek. People eat mealworm as a food thing, and I always have the courage to eat it as a mealworm burgers. Oh, but hell no, yeah. Mealworms, no, for I get where they're coming from because it's a good source of protein, it's low fat, all the good things, but it's mealworms. I know there are. I can't. I'm afraid I do need to go get something to eat because I've not eaten all day. It's now 8 p.m. and I'm hoping you haven't heard my stomach rumbling away. Right. Don't eat what meant to be eaten. Yeah, eating the grey stuff. Yeah, I mean, I know there are parts of the world where mealworms are a part of the staple part of the diet, but fortunately, I live somewhere that they aren't. So I'll continue eating meal cows instead and meal pigs, and meal lamb and meal fish. You can keep your meal chickens though. I won't go into life at a chicken farm or in a chicken factory. The reasons I do not eat chicken, plus it doesn't taste of anything. Most people can't cook it. It's usually dry and horrible or fatty. Yes, lamb is a staple dish in the UK. What do you think the meat is in a shepherd's pie? Give you a clue. What the shepherds heard. Yeah, shepherd's pie is lamb, cottage pie is beef. That's the cream sauce on the top comes from the shepherd. Mutton is better than lamb. It's definitely got a stronger flavour, but you can't beat a bit of Welsh saltmarsh lamb. Evening, Kenny. Kenny, just in time to say hi and bye. Yeah, I'm assuming the clocks haven't changed in the States yet. Because ours went back last week and then YouTube or whatever was playing silly buggers, so I only streamed for half hour. Shepherd's pie, good idea. Last night, Aussies like lamb. Yeah, it's sheep do well in our environments. That's why. And New Zealanders, a lot of sheep in New Zealand. A lot of very worried sheep. Not quite as worried as they are in Wales, but yeah, if you ever get the opportunity to try Welsh saltmarsh lamb, because it lives on the salt marsh and it literally all they eat is what grows wild, which is mostly herbs and grass. Mostly herbs, actually. Lots of salmon fire. Yeah, roast lamb and mint sauce, can't go wrong with it. And no, mint sauce does not taste like mint ice cream or toothpaste. It is basically just vinegar with ground up mint leaf. Lots of sheep in Montana. Are they worried though? Are there lots of wide topped Wellingtons sold in Montana to go with? And is there the joke of what do you call a sheep tied to a lamppost? A leisure centre. Yes, lots of sheep shacker jokes. Anyway, my stomach is grumbling louder and louder. I can actually feel it now. So I'm going to have to, you know why the Montana sheep committed suicide? I know they'll be another year. Hey, don't worry about it being a ewe or a ram. Apparently the rams are more fun because they're a bit feistier. I had lamb with mint jelly once. Yeah, the lamb is delicious. Anyway, thanks to everyone for turning up, being here, having a banter and a natter, putting the world to rights, having a bit of a laugh, talking about food, making each other hungry. Thanks, Andrew, again for the memberships. Have a good week. Stay safe. Peace out. Rock on. Bye-bye. Monday suck do 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 do. Monday suck do 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 do. Monday suck do 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 do. Time for food do 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 do. Time for food do 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 do.